Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena. I am the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. Here on the channel, we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking, all the things in between. Today, we're gonna continue on with our sourdough adventures. I originally wanted to include the baking, our first baking projects with the sourdough with the sourdough starter video. I will link that for you up in the cards, and I'll try to remember to put it down in the description as well. But it was just turning out to be a little too long. So I decided to make that a separate video. And so here I'm going to share with you the first 2 things that we ended up baking with our sourdough starter. One was with the active and bubbly starter. I followed Farmhouse on the Boone, did English muffins. And so I thought I would try that instead of just regular bread for our first project. And then I also saved my discard. I didn't get rid of it because I didn't want to waste it, and I ended up making crackers with that. So I will share with you those adventures, or whichever way it's going. Okay, I don't have a glass bowl, which is what the instructions say. I'm gonna follow Farmhouse on the Boone's recipe. I will link it down below for you. But we're gonna use this bowl. I think this is like a melamine bowl. Yes. And we're gonna hope for the best. In here, I'm gonna put about 2 cups of flour, a cup of water, and half a cup of our sourdough, and then let this sit overnight. And then I am going to take it and bring it upstairs because downstairs it is way too cold in the evening hours. If you have a warmer kitchen or it's summer months, then you can just leave it in your kitchen, I imagine. Or if you have a light in your oven, sometimes you put it in there and leave the light on to keep it kind of warm. But we don't have those options, so I'm gonna take it upstairs with us and then and tuck it in like my kids, and then we'll see how it looks in the morning. Okay, so I'm just gonna use all-purpose flour for this and see how it comes out. This is a half cup, so I'm gonna put 4 of these in. I'm sure you can hear my kiddos in the background. It's how it works around here. So we've got 2 cups of flour. We're gonna add in half a cup of starter. And then a cup of milk. A cup of water. Okay, so here's what it's looking like as we put it to bed. And it's about 3:30. Okay, it is almost 9 o'clock. So I just came back down to the kitchen. I was down here earlier, but anyways, here is what it's looking like. There are some dry bits. There are some dry bits on the top, but it's still moist enough. I don't know if it's picking up that it's moving a little. So let's see what's next. Okay, my kiddos are down here with me, and then we are going to add the rest of the ingredients and then preheat the cast iron with some coconut oil. And then I think we can start making it. So maybe the kids can have it for a late breakfast because I was gonna serve oats, but they are not pleased with that this morning. So let's preheat the cast iron and get the rest of the ingredients in here. I put a little flour on my hands, and then I'm just gonna kind of work the dough with my hands now. And then I have a little bit of coconut oil in my cast iron here. Okay, I went ahead and added more flour because it was super sticky and it needed to be workable, the recipe says. So I just added some more flour there. I'm just kind of sprinkling it in. Okay, I'm gonna try not to get my hair on fire here. They're still little, they're warm. They're warm, but they look like they might be cooked all the way through. I think I might want to like maybe just toss it back on if we're gonna eat it right now, open it and put it back on for a little bit. My idea though was to go ahead and make them and have them ready for the week, so that we would probably be plopping them back into the air fryer just to warm it through. I'm the only one that really likes English muffins, so that was why I was like, let's try making this. But I'm interested to see if my kids will like these. They'll probably like them fresh baked. But the recipe does say that if it doesn't cook through all the way, go ahead and put them in the oven. If they're not done on the inside, because they brown quickly on the outside, to throw them in the oven for at 250 to 300 for 10 more minutes if you wanted to do that. So I'm excited. Our first sourdough thing adventure came out. I'm gonna taste one, and then I'm gonna have the kids taste one, and then we'll let you know how they like it. Okay, so I went ahead and put them in the oven after all for 10 minutes at 300, and then I put a little butter, and then I'm gonna let the kids taste them as well as me. Okay, so I have the kids next to me tasting it. What do you guys think?
Pretty good.
Pretty good? Normally they don't like English muffins at all, so.
Awesome.
My oldest is not saying anything, just giving a thumbs up.
It's amazing.
Awesome, amazing. It is not a quick recipe, but nothing about sourdough really screams quick to me. So I probably will make these again, but know that I need more time, and this will probably be like a meal prep to have ready to go. Because there is that two-step process where you have to put it in the cast iron and then to cook the middle because they rise. Toss them in the oven too. So it still looks really kind of soft in the middle. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up. Even though this particular one, I cut it in half and then put it in the oven for 10 minutes. It does have a little bit of a sour, like that sourdough taste to it. But because we put it in the cast iron with the coconut oil, there's like a lot of nice crisp edges to it. I'm glad we got our sourdough starter going. Later I'm gonna make crackers with the discard that I still have in there because it's still in the fridge. When I got sick, I just left it there. I don't think my youngest liked it as much as he said he did because he's left pieces behind. So that's okay though. Like I said, I'm usually the only one that likes the English. Okay, I'm gonna make sourdough crackers, but I found a recipe for sourdough butter crackers. I will link it down below for you. My discard is about half or about twice the amount of what the recipe calls for. So I'm gonna tweak it ever so slightly. I'm gonna put in all of my sourdough discard, which is a little over 400 grams. And then I am going to put in twice the amount of salt. So 2 teaspoons of salt and twice the amount of flour, which will be 3 cups of flour. But I'm going to leave the butter amount the same because it's 8 tablespoons or 1 stick. So this first time we're making it, I'm gonna go ahead and make it with just 1 stick of butter and see how it comes out. Next time, if it's like not enough, we'll make it per the recipe. But let's dump all these in and mix it up. Okay, so I let it rest for about 30 minutes. I did start pulling it apart because I realized I am just not gonna have time to roll out all of this and make it into crackers today. So I'm gonna put this in a smaller bowl and put a plastic wrap over it and put it in the fridge because you can store it in the fridge. It says for up to 2 days, and somebody in the comments said that she did it for 3 days because life just got lifey. So it'll just ferment in the fridge for a couple more days. So we're gonna roll though about this much out and get this cooking today. Okay, so I have a silicone mat down, and then I am gonna put parchment paper over. My little man's doing schoolwork next to me, and roll it out as thin as we can. think that's the key with crackers. That's what I'm seeing, that you want to just get it rolled as thin as you can because they will get puffy. A lot of people, I have seen people in the comment sections, especially of these sourdough crackers, using their pasta maker, but I've not used my pasta roller yet, and so I'm going to try rolling it just first by hand, but that may be an option for us later down the road. You could just cut them, but I have this little box of cookie cutters, and I think we have this. I think that will make a fun cracker shape. So I'm gonna try some in this shape, and then I just pulled them out. These were the like leftover, and I just cut them apart, put them in there from the shapes. So they are a little crisp, but I think that has more to do with my oven than the cookies. Same with this, because you can see on one half my oven crisped up more than the other side. So you don't think it's the recipe. I think that part has to do with my oven. But I'm gonna let these cool for a few minutes and then we will taste them. These are the salted ones and these are unsalted. I'm gonna try one of these less than pretty ones and save the pretty ones for my kiddos. This one is like a little crispy and it's still warm. Oh, it has a slight butter taste to it. It also has a slight sour taste to it. So I could see if we added that second stick of butter, because I doubled the recipe, these would be more like a buttery cracker, clearly. but they're not bad. I think these would go really good with like a dip versus just eating them on your own. I'm gonna have the kids taste them, but normally my kids, the true test is gonna be how they eat them throughout the week, because when they first taste something, they're like, it's great, it's fantastic, good job with the new recipe, Mom. But then they don't eat it. It means that they were just trying to be kind. So I will leave these and see if they get eaten. But the sourdough crackers were a huge hit. I ended up only getting one, and then I had to get on a meeting and I left them out for my kids and told them they can snack on them if they want to, and they almost finished both trays. So that is a good sign. I'm glad that they enjoyed them. They left like maybe 4 or 5, honestly, on the trays. And I saved those for my husband so he could try them out, and he really enjoyed them as well. So that is something that we'll probably continue on making with the discard, is some of these sourdough crackers. And as you saw, I only used half the butter. So I think if I wanted more of like a buttery Ritz type cracker, I would go ahead and use the full 2 sticks, because I did double up the recipe. But those were a hit. The English muffins, my older kids and I enjoyed them, especially my oldest son and me. That actually was a win, because I don't think that any of my kids normally like English muffins, just store-bought ones. I'm the only one that really enjoys those. So I'm glad that we got our first baking stuff done and that our starter seems to be working. I have it resting in the fridge, and maybe I'll bring you along on some of the other ones, some of the other creations, as we continue baking with this and seeing what we can come up with. But thanks so much for hanging out with us and coming alongside our little adventures here. I really appreciate you doing that. And as always, if you don't know or just need to be reminded, maybe the one to tell you you are deeply and truly loved and so appreciated. Again, I appreciate you taking your time out and spending it here with me here. Thanks for watching.